I couldn't shake the memory of finding those texts, a discovery in my sister's sunlit kitchen while she prepped for the wedding. The texts were explicit, like venomous whispers in the dead of night. I reread them over and over, disbelief melting into rage. I wanted to confront him immediately, but my sister's joyful anticipation as she spoke of their future held me back. A week passed, each day heavier than the last, buried under the weight of what I knew and the happiness my sister displayed. The wedding day arrived, and as guests gathered and laughter trailed into the garden, my decision loomed larger. I watched Jake, a man in his early 30s, with neatly combed dark hair and a charming smile, mingling and deceiving without a hint of remorse. The ceremony began, and my sister, radiant and unaware of the betrayal, walked slowly towards him, dressed in a gown of pure happiness. Under the arch, the officiant's words felt surreal, like a script of make-believe, as Jake's lies paraded as truth. My heart pounded loudly, each beat an omen, as I took a small breath and stepped forward, knowing there was no turning back. I cleared my throat, the noise breaking the perfect scene, and all eyes turned to me, expecting harmony, but braced for chaos. I spoke, my voice steady, yet simmering with emotion. "Jake, you owe my sister the truth." Silence thickened, oppressive against the chatter moments before. Jake's reaction was predictable. The shock, the denial, his eyes wide with incredulousness, as if I'd invented the affair out of thin air. My sister's face drained of colour, confusion bubbling into hurt, as she pieced together whispered truths and lies from her fiancé. Disbelief rippled through the guests, a murmuring undercurrent as I revealed the texts. Gasps as appalled faces turned towards Jake. Despite the chaos it caused, a part of me felt liberated to free my sister from his web of deceit as her foundation shattered. Jake tried to contain the damage, his voice a desperate plea for understanding, but the truth echoed louder than his words. My sister, trembling, sought clarification from Jake, her voice breaking just as her dreams had moments ago. The wedding was definitively over when Jake faltered, unable to answer my sister's piercing question, crushed by the weight of his own silence. Guests started leaving, their whispers a testament to the evening's shattered dreams, while my sister stood heartbreakingly alone. In the privacy of her dressing room, my sister wept, silently, her dreams dissolving. I hesitated, unsure if she wanted solace or solitude. I entered, uncertain, and sat beside her, the silence only broken by intermittent sobs, offering my presence as the evening turned to dusk. It wasn't long before my sister spoke, angry but grateful, an unexpected twist. "I'm glad you told me," she murmured through her tears. Grateful she saw the truth, I offered the solace I could despite the turmoil. "You deserve better," I whispered, heart aching for her. Late that night, as stars painted the sky, we sat outside, the air thick with unspoken words, understanding and newfound freedom. My sister talked about future dreams blended with pain, her voice a mixture of hope and healing. It felt like recovery would take forever. In the quiet hours before dawn, questions of love, trust, and betrayal wove through our words, a tapestry laid bare by the night. Though dawn's light was bittersweet, I whispered a promise to always stand by her, ensuring she'd never face deceit alone again. As the sun rose, illuminating anew, my sister's smile hesitantly returned, fragile but genuine, soothing the raw ache of betrayal. We stayed until warmth seeped into the earth, resolved to embrace the unknown together, stronger than ever against the tides of deceit. Even amidst the heartbreak and chaos, we found clarity, gathering new strength from shattered trust. A fresh start now awaited us, wistful yet empowering. The night before my sister's wedding, I sat alone in my room, my phone screen illuminating Jake's betrayal in damning clarity. Each message felt like another knife twisting deep. I couldn't sleep. The messages were relentless in my mind. Jake had lied and cheated, and I was caught between silence and honesty. It was misery in all directions. I imagined telling her, but fear clamped my throat. Her joy was so innocent, and my revelation would ruin everything. I could barely breathe thinking about it. Hope battled desperation as I argued with myself. I feared losing her love and trust, but she deserved the truth about Jake, even if it shattered her heart. Sleep finally came as clarity dawned. I realized I couldn't let her walk blindly into deceit. The truth was my responsibility. I made peace with my resolution. Morning arrived with a newfound sense of purpose. I watched my sister dress in her wedding gown, her joy a precious thing, delicate yet luminous. My heart ached. In her eyes I saw my own reflection, and I knew she'd soon see the truth. She deserved transparency, despite the potential pain it would bring. We moved to the kitchen, preparing a quick breakfast. Her laughter was pure like sunlight, but each chuckle sent a shard of sorrow through my resolve. I hesitated for a moment longer. Her genuine excitement was contagious, yet part of me knew that my silence would only bring more harm. In a quiet moment, as she stepped outside, I followed her like a shadow. It was time to unleash the truth that weighed heavy upon my soul. I told her everything, trying to keep calm. Jake's lies, the deceit. Her eyes filled slowly with disbelief and hurt, but a flicker of gratitude crossed her face. Her reaction was predictably hurtful. Betrayed by her blind trust in Jake, she sank into silence, the weight of realization anchoring her mood. Her heart shattered, she turned to me for support. I held her, wishing my presence would ease the fracture her world had become. Time froze as we embraced. Her tears fell softly onto my shoulder. In silence, I offered the reassurance that truth, though cruel, was necessary. After sorrow came clarity. She pulled back, composed herself, determination etching new lines on her face. She knew what she had to do now. We moved back inside, her presence transformed. She became composed like an untouched lake. Fear and hurt were still there, but courage stood at the forefront. As guests arrived, she wore a brave face. Smiles became armor against questions. She radiated poise, transforming adversity into strength, unbreakable spirit. The ceremony space was a glow of warmth and anticipation. She entered with grace, her stride dignified despite turmoil, undercutting the sting of betrayal. Jake watched her approach. He smiled, unaware of the storm looming above. I felt the air ripple with tension. Truth hung like a spectre. As whispers cascaded, Jake's facade became porcelain chipped by speculation. Guests sensed faltering harmony, turning whispers into rippling echoes. My sister stood before him, eyes unwavering. Silence enveloped the room like a cloak. I watched with a heavy heart, knowing justice would soon be served. Her voice resonated through the hall, explaining the deceit. The air crackled with revelation, a powerful, unyielding force igniting the truth. Shock engulfed him. Disbelief lined his face as truth unspooled, unraveling lies he'd built. I glimpsed his bewilderment. The cost of betrayal had come due. I felt a rush of vindication seeing his panic. Justice made the air tremble, sweeping away deceit. It was powerful, final, a moment of reckoning. Guests buzzed, unsure, but slowly a shared understanding grew. Truth had carved a new path. She stood unwavering, embodying strength and integrity. Instead of crumbling, she held her ground. Empowered by truth, she banished deceit. She became the light repelling the shadows of betrayal. An unexpected calm settled over her. With a slight smile, tacit acceptance marked her expression. She transformed trials into strength in her raging heart. She turned to me, giving a nod. Her silent thanks resonated deeply, etching a bond between us, a testament to shared resolve against betrayal. We left together, brushing past whispers, the air tinged with newfound respect. Her courage had shifted the narrative, rewriting endings with clarity. Stepping into light beyond the turmoil, I grasped her hand. She emerged empowered from the truth, a beacon capable of defying darkness with unwavering grace. I sat alone that morning, overwhelmed by memories of us as kids. Despite all the fights, our bond felt unbreakable. Could a wedding truly shift that? My conscience was at war. I watched her twirl in a beautiful white dress, memories whispering where mere words couldn't. The crowd's cheerful noise felt distant as childhood camaraderie tried reaching me through time. Seeing her happiness juxtaposed with Jake's sly smile, I was reminded of when joy turned to disdain between us. His duplicity threatened to overshadow her dreams, yet I remained silent. My sister radiated pure happiness, blissfully unaware of deception looming. My conscience pulled at my resolve, urging me to break my silence, but fear kept me chained to my seat. Jake's sly demeanour and my fear clashed internally. Could our past camaraderie justify silence? My heart weighed heavy with guilt as the skies darkened ominously, like truths hidden under clouds. The vows echoed, their culmination sitting heavily in my chest. The truth brooded beneath the beauty of the ceremony, like a storm waiting to shatter illusions. I questioned my silence deeply. Memories of laughter and innocence flooded as I watched her, but dread lingered. Was it fear or hope that kept me silent in my seat, burdened under the weight of hidden truths? Giggles from guests couldn't drown the storm raging within. Jake's deceit felt like daggers hidden amongst rose petals. Was my silence complicity or cowardice as my sister stood unknowingly happy? I was torn between the shadows of Jake's deception and my sister's bright future. The weight of speaking the truth grew, but I remained bound by promises and unshed tears. Unyielding silence, a prison of bygone loyalty as vows are exchanged. Happiness painted a facade while my soul struggled, searching for courage behind Jake's deceitful grin. A sudden silence in the crowd as vows concluded sent shivers through me. Their unspoken truth loomed larger, urging me to make right what felt eternally wrong. The silence was shattered by applause, but it felt hollow, lacking sincerity. My conscience fought one last battle for her future. The weight of unspoken words pressed my heart heavily. I caught sight of her radiant smile as she turned to me. It broke my silent edifice wide open. Trembling, I stood, feeling truth unravel in each forced step. Heart pounding heavily, words fought to surface. As my sister watched me rise, understanding avoided her like it too feared the storming reality. I prepared for truth's eruption. I took a trembling step forward, my heart aching. Jake noticed my movement, his suave smugness faltering. In that moment, I grasped the fragility of truth beneath happy facades, words poised at the tip of my tongue, tension crackling through the garden. I lifted my gaze, finally prepared to expose Jake's deceit and reclaim the future she deserved. Just as truth threatened to burst forth, a child's laughter pierced the garden's solemnity. The moment held its breath. Innocence mingled oddly with impending revelations. Broken from the spell by laughter's echo, I inhaled deeply, fortified by unexpected calm. Truth still beckoned, potent and raw, despite fleeting innocence. A distant clap of thunder echoed through the skies. My sister's eyes locked onto mine, questioning yet steadfast. Courage welled within, the storm brewed, truth as its wind. Just as I opened my mouth to speak, I noticed Jake recoiling under my gaze. An unyielding sense of justice impelled me. I couldn't let this deceit pass silently. The words danced precariously on the edge of my lips, fraught with impending chaos. Friends and family watched in suspended animation as Jake's eyes darted nervously. Jake's composure unravelled before my eyes. Guests muttered softly, a tide of whispers swelling. My sister's joy wavered, grappling with the rupture of expectation versus reality. In that suspended moment, my decision crystallized. Truth emerged in my voice, unsteady but earnest, a tremor shattering illusions, breaking bonds yet forging a path to sincerity. I see my sister's face transform, a veil of disbelief falling. Jake's betrayal stood unmasked in the open air. Emotional torrents swept through, unyielding and raw. As truth rippled through the guests, I endured the turbulent aftermath, loyalty and love intertwined tumultuously. Each step back felt laden with the weight of past missteps. Jake departed hastily, his deceit exposed. In the silence, a flicker of realization spread. Hope emerged through hurt, promises broken, revealed paths to healing wounds. We faced the aftermath. Promises shattered, trust fragile, but the possibility of rebuilding lingered. Her gaze met mine, gratitude mixing with sorrow, revealing the depth of our old wounds. Her smile emerged hesitantly, like dawn through storm clouds. It was the quiet acknowledgement that despite the rain, a new day awaited. Affirmation that broken bonds needn't mean broken spirits. Snippets of laughter sliced through the solemnity, guests gradually resuming their ease. I felt lightened, subtly liberated by truth, aware that each fracture invited a chance to mend. The storm that threatened passed, leaving behind clear skies and a future unknown but hopeful. Old wounds may linger, but they pave paths to resilience, renewal, and, above all, truth. The wedding hall was filled with excitement, but my heart felt heavy, knowing what Jake had done. I stood quietly, watching vows being exchanged, debating whether to speak up. As Jake looked into my sister's eyes, all I could think of were the text messages I had seen to another woman. They haunted me, whispering deceit over and over. The officiant's words echoed in the room. Each syllable weighed on me, pushing me towards an inevitable decision that could unravel my sister's world. Silence stretched as the officiant asked if anyone knew a reason for their union to not proceed. My internal debate raged, clashing with my love and fear for my sister. The moment was crashing onto me, with everyone watching for a sign, a word, a reaction. My mind fought through the gravity of betrayal and loyalty. I could almost hear the whispers of guilt urging me, demanding action. Those text messages felt like they burned into my skin, pushing me to find courage. A surge of urgent clarity hit me as the vow was about to be sealed. I knew I needed to speak the truth, no matter the cost, to protect her from heartbreak. With a shaky resolve, I mustered the courage to speak, fearing judgment, yet knowing the truth had to be said to save my sister from a lifetime of deceit. Amidst the stunned crowd, my words broke the silence, triggering shock and confusion. Faces turned towards me, questioning the disruption, demanding explanation. People stared as chaos unfolded, whispers fluttered around me, but I stood firm, striving to breathe amidst my own unraveling emotions. Jake looked at me, expression shifting from confidence to disbelief and anger, challenging my revelation, while others began murmuring in disbelief. My sister's face turned from joy to confusion and hurt. Her eyes searched mine for the painful truth I had just revealed. I explained to everyone about the texts, my voice shaky yet unyielding. The story unfolded like ripples, causing disbelief and hushed arguments among guests. Questions flew around me, voices clashed, but my focus remained on my sister, her expressions of anguish turning into a silent plea for more details. Jake attempted to counter my accusations with feigned innocence, but as the truths laid bare, his defense faltered, exposing glimpses of his deceitful nature. I refused to back down, retelling the painful truth, every detail of the texts, each bit casting shadows over Jake's fabricated innocence. My sister looked torn. Disbelief mingled with realization as guilt painted Jake's face, slowly crumbling under scrutiny. Despite my desperation, I felt the tension ease slightly, realizing my actions might prevent lifetime regrets for my sister. Truth over ambiguity. Jake's facade shattered entirely as more people questioned him. His attempts to salvage dignity met with skepticism and disbelief as the crowd learned more. Exposed and cornered, Jake finally admitted his misdeeds. Confession brought relief to me, but bewildered disappointment to my sister and the crowd. My sister collapsed in tears, supported by friends and family rushing to aid her. The finality of truth had a devastating yet necessary impact. I felt a bittersweet relief, knowing the chaos I unleashed brought clarity. People began dispersing slowly, carrying shadows of an unreal ceremony. As the hall emptied, I remained, feeling the weight of my actions. Yet, I felt hope for my sister, who could now face reality unburdened by deceit. My sister approached me, eyes swollen but gratitude reflecting through her tears, realizing the nightmare was better faced now than in years trapped in lies. We embraced with tears, knowing we've conquered deceit and heartbreak, a bittersweet victory, recognizing the power of truth and enduring bonds. Walking away from the ceremony, the fresh air hit me with clarity, resolving to support my sister as she starts anew, seeking happiness unclouded by lies. My sister followed, relieved to leave behind the hall of broken promises, seeing her future with clearer paths of genuine love and connection. We sat quietly in the car, absorbing the morning's events, both hearts aching yet hopeful, ready to face the uncertain future together. In a simple cafe, we talked softly about what lies ahead, stronger now than before, knowing truth is painful yet liberating. All eyes set on healing. Despite the wreckage, we found laughter again, realizing that in this decisive moment, we chose authenticity. Once shattered dreams, now inspiring new hopes. It was a bright morning, full of promise. I sat on the balcony, sipping coffee, watching people pass by below. I thought everything was perfect, until I saw the texts. The texts revealed a betrayal, sharp and unforgiving. Jake was messaging someone else. My heart sank as disbelief washed over me in waves. I couldn't breathe as reality settled in. I wandered inside, pacing around the living room, heart pounding in my chest. My sister's wedding was hours away. I had to decide whether to tell her. The air felt heavy with indecision, a storm before the calm. I chose to confront Jake first. Meeting him outside the venue, fear clashed with anger. He looked calm, unaware of the incoming tide. I showed him the texts, his eyes widened in shock. The betrayal tangible between us as we stood in silence, waiting to unravel. He pleaded for silence, desperation colouring his voice. I felt the weight of my sister's happiness hanging by a thread. I couldn't keep quiet. I stormed inside, prepared to unravel everything before it became a facade. My heart raced with conviction. Faces turned towards me as I entered. My sister stood at the altar, eyes shining with fleeting happiness. I hesitated, feeling a pang of doubt. Guests shifted uncomfortably as I stepped forward. I approached my sister, time slowing with every heartbeat. Jake looked frozen beside her. There was an audible gasp as I shared the truth. My sister's face fell, a moment of shattered bliss captured in time. Jake tried to speak, but the room filled with whispers louder than any shame. I felt the weight of judgment from all sides. Silence enveloped us, a thick shroud over what was supposed to be a joyous occasion. Jake's empty gaze haunted me. My sister turned to Jake, searching for an explanation he couldn't give. I saw her heartbreak unfold, a silent scream resonating deep within. In the chaos, I slipped away, unable to witness the destruction further. Outside, the air felt lighter, but my heart weighed heavy. I sat on a bench, staring at the sky, the sun slowly dipping beyond the horizon. Alone, I wondered if honesty was worth the pain. As twilight enveloped the day, memories flashed back. My sister's smile, Jake's laughter. What could have been felt like a distant dream. I heard footsteps behind me, turned to see my sister, face pale, eyes searching for solace. Words hung between us, unspoken and heavy. We sat in silence side by side, an unbreakable bond despite the chaos. She leaned against me, seeking comfort in shared sorrow. Eventually, she spoke, a quiet gratitude for freeing her from illusion. I felt relief, mingled with sadness at the loss of innocence. We left the park, darkness gathering, yet a strange peace settled within. I held on to hope for better tomorrows despite the wreckage. Back home, the echoes of laughter felt hollow against the walls. Memories lingered, yet a new resolve strengthened as I turned off the lights. I decided to write everything down, finding solace in words. The truth captured on paper felt less intimidating than when left unspoken. As the pen moved across the page, a wispy trace of hope settled in my heart. The future was uncertain, yet full of potential. The night stretched on as I wrote, exhaustion mixed with clarity, each word a stitch in the fabric of a new beginning. Eventually, I closed the notebook, gazing at the moonlit sky. I felt peace slowly entering where chaos had once lived. The quiet enveloped me as I lay in bed. Reflections of the day danced in my mind. I drifted to sleep with a tired smile. Morning arrived gentle and forgiving. It was a fresh start, sunlight warmed my room, a promise of resilience woven into the new day. I brewed coffee with a renewed sense of purpose, the aroma filling the room. My heart felt lighter as I prepared to face the days ahead. With each sip, clarity washed over me, the decisions, heartbreak, and the bravery to let truth prevail. I stood tall, ready to begin anew. I walked into the kitchen and heard echoes of an argument. My sister's voice broke through, trembling with betrayal. Jake tried to reason, his words faltering under the weight of truth. "It's not what it looks like," he struggled to claim. My sister's disbelief was palpable, shattering dreams she had woven together over time. Her eyes bore into him, seeking truth. I felt guilty as my decision to reveal the truth twisted in my chest, conflicting with the relief of no longer hiding it. "Why couldn't you just tell me?" my sister pleaded, desperation threading through her voice as she sought answers. Her image of Jake crumbled, replaced by memories lined with fading promises and envisioned futures. She seemed adrift. I stood by, powerless, knowing her journey to forgiveness was hers alone to navigate, scarred by betrayal she couldn't foresee. My parents couldn't hide their disappointment, expressions revealing the fractures within our family dynamics, silently judging Jake. "I'll go," Jake finally admitted, realization dawning that leaving was inevitable, a necessary consequence of his actions. But departing wouldn't cleanse the scars left behind, nor fix the fractures laid starkly in the aftermath of his betrayal. Jake walked into the rainy night, shadows consuming his silhouette, a quiet metaphor of his unresolved guilt and consequence. Tears in my sister's eyes mirrored the raindrops on the window, blending her sorrow with the broken promises unspoken in the room. I watched her amid shadows, her dreams unraveling as she clung to fragments of hope, trying to reconcile reality with illusion. Her silence echoed more than her expressions, a quiet acceptance of dreams, reformed now in reality's harsh wake. The rain outside intensified, nature reflecting her turmoil, while I remained a spectator to this poignant chapter unfolding. Dreams that my sister once shared with Jake started fading, leaving only shadows of their once vivid hopes. My parents attempted to comfort her, their words mingling with the rain, reflecting their desire to restore some sense of normalcy. Though supportive, I couldn't help but feel cumbersome, staring at my sister, whose burden wasn't mine to carry. Jake's absence was felt heavily, his betrayal now part of ordinary life as we struggled with newly minted fragility. We shared glasses of wine, my sister sipping slowly, silently symbolizing a tentative step towards healing. Suddenly, her phone buzzed, breaking the silence. It startled her into the present, unexpected at that moment of serious contemplation. "Who's calling?" I asked, curiosity edging my voice as we both sensed the tension expanding around this single moment. It was Jake, trying to make amends, his voice tinged with remorse, not enough to bridge the gap he'd created. My sister hesitated, her hand wavering over the phone, struggling with trust eroded by repeated disappointments. Choosing her own path, my sister declined the call, a silent act of closure, closing the door on old wounds. The silence returned, comforting in its presence. It felt like a band-aid on the wound that was slowly healing. Outside, the rain had stopped, mirroring a temporary peace, a reprieve from the tumult they'd just endured. Sitting together, we talked quietly, bonding over memories and shared stories, slowly rebuilding trust and understanding. I realized our shared experience was grounding, leaving us with resilience we never knew we possessed. Through the broken illusions and fragmented hopes, we found ourselves holding on to the strength of the family bond we had reformed. I remember walking up to my sister Clara in our dimly lit living room, her face clouded as if burdened by truths untold. Clara looked at me, sadness etched across her face. A quiet heaviness filled the room, feeling like a weight pressing down on us both. Her silence spoke volumes, emotions unraveled and raw, leaving traces of tears marking new paths down her cheeks. Clara whispered, raw vulnerability in her voice, asking why I hadn't shared the truth with her sooner. Her plea echoed the tangible silence. I struggled to find words that felt meaningful, feeling the chasm widen between what was said and what remained hidden. The soft glow of evening light seemed to deepen Clara's heartbreak, casting long shadows over her words. I admitted, words stumbling out clumsily, that I hadn't wanted to ruin her day, but it felt inadequate in the face of her pain. Clara's eyes were pools of disbelief, holding questions deeper than I could answer. Her loyalty felt misplaced, now facing betrayal. I watched, helplessly, my hands empty, unable to catch the fragments of dreams that slipped away from her. Her whispered promises felt like echoes of forever, now loose and broken, leaving traces in our shared silence. We sat quietly, the room heavy with confrontation and unresolved emotions, feeling like an arena of truth and doubt. The clock ticked slowly, each second a reminder of the words left unspoken, casting a rhythmic shadow on our thoughts. I wondered if we ever truly know when to speak truths, feeling guilty for my role in the unfolding silence around us. Clara's gaze pierced through me. It was unwavering, fueled by intense emotions that refused to settle quietly. I saw her tears, an embodiment of exposed dreams, trailing down painted cheeks, leaving traces of past promises. Her sorrow was a quiet symphony of betrayal, echoing bitter notes that reverberated through our silent room. My voice cracked as I offered hollow apologies, words breaking like brittle promises against the stillness we shared. Clara's eyes held mine, understanding and failure intertwined, unspoken truths binding us despite the fracture. Her sniffled breaths filled the silence as we both hesitated, caught in the whirlwind of emotions and endless questions. I felt the echoes of truth lingering, forged memories tangled with fleeting whispers from times undisclosed. A sudden realization pierced through the silence. The weight of truth was unrelenting, demanding to be acknowledged. Our living room seemed smaller, suffocating under the burden of truths that had been buried for far too long. The walls seemed to close in as unspoken promises floated aimlessly, reminding us of what once was. Her tears and my regrets mingled, creating a painful symphony in the quiet room, resonating with the knowledge of long-held secrets. Clara's glance was steady, focused, revealing an acceptance forged amid betrayal. It was both chilling and affirming. We stood facing each other, the room now a testament to trust gone awry and the relentless quest for understanding. In the dim light, our wounds were laid bare, revealing scars that forged our shared history. Truth had become our crucible. The weight of truth filled the air, blending with the whispers of reconciliation. I felt lighter, yet profoundly changed. Clara's tentative smile marked the beginning of healing, a faint glimmer of hope amid the remnants of broken trusts. We embraced, feeling truths woven together in our shared silence, acknowledging both pain and promise in this fragile moment of unity. I stood there in disbelief, watching the crowd disperse after the big confrontation. Jake's expression was like a weak facade, desperately trying to hold up against judgment. My sister, with a mix of strength and vulnerability, confronted Jake directly. Her words sliced through the lies he'd spun, demanding truth from years of broken promises. Was it ever real, even once? My sister's voice was steady, her question cut like a knife, palpable and hovering in the silent air between them. Under the silent gaze of everyone left, Jake confessed the truth he'd fought to disassemble all along. His words unravelled, laying bare the reality of his deceit. Finally, my sister uttered, "It's over." Her words, despite her stoic composure, sealed their fate, the end of their tangled promises and unfulfilled dreams. As Jake turned to leave, shadows cast themselves like quiet kisses on the space, engulfing what remained of their love. A dance concluded by discord. With everything out in the open now, I watched as the echoes within the auditorium embodied memories and dreams left behind, still haunting the air. My sister stood alone, yet free from the deceit laid bare. Her presence said it all, liberation mixed with the pain of reality now plain before her. The lingering silence was both comforting and oppressive, a strange mix of emotions for us all, witnessing the aftermath of unveiled truths. I stood beside my sister, our silence shared as both siblings and conspirators in unmasking deceit, looking towards a future untethered from lies. We walked out into the afternoon light, the fresh air symbolizing a new beginning. Freedom mingled with the bittersweet taste of resolve and loss. My sister paused on the steps outside, sunlight illuminating her face. Despite the hurt etched in her eyes, there was a serene acceptance of the end. Seeing her so composed despite the chaos within was a relief, a beacon guiding us both forward into an uncharted future. We headed towards home, each step resonating with the sense of relief and a bittersweet anticipation of what lies ahead. Entering the kitchen at home felt like stepping into a sanctuary, safe, known. We were surrounded by comforting familiarity amidst emotional uncertainties. Sitting at the kitchen table, my sister started discussing plans for moving on, her voice carrying a hopeful undertone. The sense of freedom was evident. Our conversation flowed like a healing balm, bringing comfort and clarity within the safe walls of our home. I reflected silently on the changes ahead, feeling a mix of anticipation and gratitude for newfound freedom. The evening shadows slowly filled the room, ushering a quietude that felt inviting rather than foreboding. We ended the day with a mutual understanding, ready to face whatever tomorrow holds, embracing the new beginning. Moving to the living room, our renewed sense of freedom was as much a relief as it was an unknown territory we were ready to explore. The surprise twist was her sudden laughter, breaking the lingering tension and infusing the air with warmth, an unexpected signal of healing and rebirth. Her laughter was infectious, leading me to join. The atmosphere shifted from somber reflection to hopeful release, creating space for much-needed healing. We shared old stories from happier times, the warmth of nostalgic connections enveloping us both in the living room's cozy embrace. The conversation meandered, bringing solace and renewed confidence, like rediscovering a treasured map guiding us back to ourselves. Night had completely enveloped the room by now, surrounding us with its quiet, comforting embrace. The world felt peaceful and paused. I felt an incredible sense of gratitude for the unexpected twist her laughter brought earlier. It was a turning point in healing. The journey ahead suddenly felt accessible, with laughter acting as the bridge over uncertainty and the decree of fate after revelations. We settled back with relaxed smiles, embracing the silence as a gentle friend. The future was ours to mould, unmoved by past betrayals. As the night deepened, we bid farewell to old ghosts and welcomed the promise tomorrow holds, with anticipation and gratitude intertwined. I stood silently at the garden's edge watching my sister, a woman in her early 30s, round face, hopeful eyes, short curly black hair, wearing a pastel floral dress, stepping into the sunlight. My sister found gentle moments introspecting in the green backyard hammock, a woman in her early 30s, thoughtful eyes, loose black hair, wearing a soft beige sweater, enveloped in quiet contemplation. Her laughter returned unexpectedly one afternoon in the kitchen, mid-30s, cheerful eyes, curly hair tied up, wearing a casual blue shirt and denim jeans while baking cookies. Tea time became reflective. She sat, early 30s, studying the living room window, serene eyes, black hair down, wearing a floral robe, steaming mug between her hands. A woman in her early 30s, fragile eyes, curly hair loose, wore an old favourite sweater. We exchanged smiles. Understanding lingered, illuminated by sunset's glow across the room. One evening, her courage showed. Stubborn eyes, black curls, wild, donned light summer dress as she spoke of dreams once deferred. I listened, arms crossed, hopeful. Her determination glimmered at dawn during a jog. Early 30s, determined face, black hair pulled back, athletic gear, pushing forward along a wooded trail under morning mist. Quiet perseverance unfolded as she practiced yoga in the sunlit studio, mid-30s focused gaze, short black curls, form-fitting leggings and tank top aligning body and spirit. She confessed late one evening, early 30s, resigned eyes, curls messy, wearing her favourite flannel pyjamas. Healing hurts, but brings gladness, spoken with genuine courage. A quiet breakfast routine emerged. Early 30s, bright eyes, black hair tied up, cheerful green shirt, gracefully sipping coffee while the sunlight poured through the kitchen window. Forgiveness found itself when she spoke kindly to an old friend over the phone, early 30s, sincere eyes, relaxed curls, wearing a comfy grey sweater, seated thoughtfully. I noticed her sketching one rainy afternoon, delicate fingers tracing dreams anew, early 30s, focused eyes, dark wavy hair, casual hoodie scribbling energetically, therapy sessions with eyes open to possibilities, mid-30s, attentive, eyes, short, black curls, wore a modest sweater, sat focused across from a therapist. Our walks among autumn leaves, sharing stories past unspoken. Early 30s, nostalgic eyes, light scarf framing curly hair, wearing a casual coat, strolled alongside her softly. She sat studying a book thoughtfully in the bustling cafe. Early 30s, intense eyes, hair let down, casual clothes, immersed in pages describing journeys. Evenings found her seated outside, watching stars stretch across the sky. Early 30s, wistful eyes, dark curls floating, hoodie pulled tight, yearning silently. As seasons changed, her smile softened reminders of things lost but not forgotten. Early 30s, tender eyes, wild curls, warm sweater as she embraced renewal. Conversation about family unfolded gently one afternoon. Early 30s, reflective eyes, subtle makeup, short black curls, wearing an elegant blouse, inviting dialogue. She found solace in the library's quiet, reading thoughtfully. Early 30s, absorbed eyes, curls falling softly, simple cardigan as sunlight filtered through tall windows. Midnight found her sketching by candlelight. Early 30s, focused eyes, wild hair, wearing cozy flannel as she etched new dreams in the dim light's comfort. One weekend, hiking revealed horizons unchallenged. Early 30s, adventurous eyes, hair tied firmly, rugged gear, stood contemplating vast landscapes ahead. Late-night talks unveiled vulnerability. Mid-20s, soft edges hardened by honesty, earnest eyes, light sweater, sat close enough to listen attentively as truths unfolded. Projecting confidence at work, her early 30s, determined gaze, short black curls, stylish blazer, embraced challenges within meetings' intensity. Her curiosity carried her to art exhibits. Early 30s, observant eyes, loose curls, flowing dress, capturing creativity within every brushstroke. Midday painted her by the lake, pensive gaze extended over shimmering water. Early 30s, eyes seeking calm, hair tied back, leisure jacket worn warmly. As change embraced her, mid-30s, wistful eyes reflected balcony city's lights, dark curly hair loose, wrap-around coat clutching possibilities. Moments in the cafe these days shared tales unwritten. Early 30s, engaged gaze, dark hair framing face, simple blouse, cultivated conversation with curious anticipation. One evening, watching dusk settle at the park's edge, her early 30s, searching gaze, loose curls, casual coat, embodying calm within the surrounding stillness. Sitting by the fireplace, early 30s, contemplative eyes, curls tucked under knitted cap, worn sweater, warmth enveloping her briefly amid thoughts spun of future unknowns. Early morning light found her at meditation. Early 30s, focused expression, short black curls, carefree tank top, breathing calmly amid sunrise hues. I watched my sister's life crumble and rebuild, her heart stitching itself together. She found solace in truth, evolving, growing strong, yet marked by past betrayals. We shared stories of betrayal over coffee. Her wisdom, nurtured by overcoming deceit, was a beacon in her words, guiding me to embrace my path. We ventured beyond shadows into Sierra Nevada, where clarity met us, guiding our next steps. Her journey echoed renewal amidst nature's silent admonitions. In the stillness of mountain air, I felt weight of past deceit lift. Our paths diverged but kept intertwining, bonded by shared truths. We reflected on betrayal's shadow, weaving honesty into our future. Her courage inspired a new dawn, one shorn of illusions. Returning to city life, her wisdom led us anew, a world seen with clearer eyes, retreating from deceit, forming new realities. Emotional walls dismantled, truth defined my actions. We were changed by honesty's rawness, crafting lives grounded in sincerity. I faced consequences head-on, accepting responsibilities shaped by past failures. My sister's courage kept me steady, her journey illuminating mine. Our bond flourished through trials, honesty fostering growth. I watched her transform, happiness echoing within changes induced by endured truths. Unexpectedly, she paused. Unexpected truth surfaced, demanding my attention. Her words resonated, urging courage in face of potential betrayal. The silence of emotional revelation lingered. My sister's honesty was the axis propelling transformation. Pain and growth intertwined like never before. Her words reshaped boundaries. Betrayal's echo faded. Honesty formed our haven. I realized our paths, although marked by hardship, held unwavering truths. Under the city's night sky, her triumph reverberated. Emboldened by truth, we navigated love, shaping paths left untrodden, refusing betrayal's rest. As we stood beneath neon signs, happiness reflected through city's vibrant pulse. Her change echoed in luminous streets, confidence worn like a shield. Her happiness, intertwined within change, resonated with absent truths. We embraced altered selves, casting aside shadows' weight to form vibrant futures. Wrapping ourselves in honesty's embrace, paths unfurled beneath shadow's departure. Her courage inspired change we're slowly accepting in new lights. Her new life, stripped of deceit, emerged bold and unwound. Silent basement of emotional barriers, dismantled in light's dawning truth. Embracing courage, we left the past behind, standing firmly beneath truth's formidable presence, paths renewed by sturdy honesty. Her strength echoed within my own metamorphosis. Courage surfaced, a mosaic of trial and triumph, reflecting shared resilience. Together, we journeyed forward, unveiling new chapters shaped by prospects unseen, refusing betrayal rest, gaining strength in adversity's aftermath. Surprise struck, a call unraveled hidden truths, echoes of hurt yet shining amidst ground endured. Our past lingered, demanding explanation. Confrontation loomed. Dark shadows gathered, testing bonds. Her determination rooted us despite shaken foundations. Courage's light flickered, but didn't extinguish. Honesty emerged victorious. They gave voice to untold stories. Love, tempered by trials, thrived despite its sometimes fragile state. We reclaimed unexplored paths anew, weaving stories between ourselves, unhindered by dishonesty. Her journey resonated, guiding the way forward fearlessly. Her words carried insights, renewed paths unmapped, cascading truth through scenes woven with unwavering courage's demand. We revisited moments of failure and triumph, emotional shadows reframed. New pathways opened beneath honesty's glow, whispers of renewal. Her life, a story of transformation driven by innate courage, guided paths at cliff's edge, renewed vistas defying betrayal's haunting. With newfound resolve, I walked alongside her, strengthened by shared trials. Our paths unentangled, free yet entwined, our lives echoed transformation. Her triumph resounded within shared spaces unhindered by deceit. Our hearts knit together. The weight of past dissolved as honesty redefined us. Alongside her courage, I embraced my redefined journey. Truth unwound through deepest shadows. We walked forward, renewed by honesty's flame,